Hi, I'm Brian Welk here in TheWrap's virtual Sundance studio for 2022, and I'm talking to the team behind God's Country. I have director and writer Julian Higgins, I have writer Shaye Ogbonna, and I have star Thandiwe Newton. Thank you all so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having us.
So, Julian, let's start with you. This film is based on a short story, but then also based on a short film that you made. What made you want to then, expand it into a feature? And I know there's a lot of differences, I understand, between the different projects. But yeah, let's start why you wanted to make it into a feature.
Yeah, there certainly are. Well, thank you so much for having us. And yeah, it's not the classic short to feature paradigm, that's for sure. So the short story Winter Light is it's by James Lee Burke. And the short film that I made in 2014 was based on that short story, and it was a pretty direct adaptation of it. And it's a very, I love this short story. I was so compelled with it when I read it. But it's very contained. It's a very internal story. And it's very abrupt, and it's kind of like it felt like a poem to me when I first read it. And I really didn't think that there was enough material in the story to turn into a feature, hence the short. And so when we finished the short, I thought that was going to be the end of my road with it. And then Shaye and I, we had both gone to the American Film Institute, not at the same time, but we were aware of each other. And after the 2016 election, we were feeling all kinds of things. We were feeling angry, we were feeling grief, we were feeling highly motivated to address what we felt was happening and what was coming in our work. And that's when the story really came back for me. The themes of it about, people's sort of moral and ethical codes slamming into the reality of the world seemed really relevant in the America of 2016-17 at that time. And so, yeah, I mentioned this idea to Shaye of working on the story together. And, we developed the idea of changing the main character from an older white man to a, 40-something Black woman in order to be able to bring in all the aspects and through this lens, examine all of these dynamics that were happening in the country. And that's sort of how we got rolling on it.
So Thandiwe, then tell me how you came on board this project. I mean, it sounds like you had the character first, and then maybe you came aboard, or what were you seeing in the script that spoke to you in the, it spoke to you about the character?
Well, it's a fantastic story. I mean, really, it's unexpected, but utterly real. And I recognize this as a woman that, a real woman. And when I say a real woman, I mean, it didn't surprise me that this woman was capable of challenging this situation the way she does. And I felt that I had experienced those same frustrations daily. And I loved her dignity. I loved her dignity. And I felt that it was exactly the way I would want to talk about issues in America and wider issues in the world. This was the way to tell this story. This was the way to talk about those issues, and with all material, there's the script, and then it's like, oh shit, now how's it going to get fucked up? Let's meet the people who are going to fuck it up. Okay, right. So that's the first. So then Julian and I spoke, and we just completely in sync. It was like talking to, I don't know, I want to say a brother. And I'm very cerebral with work. I want to talk about psychology and and the reason. I really want to know, why are you doing this? Why do you want to tell this story? Why is it important to you? You know, because that's trust, isn't it? It's all about trust. Is this going to be a safe place, not just for me, but for this character and for this story? Are you going to do it right? Like, I remember, just as an example, I remember reading Precious, Lee Daniels movie, and being like, no fucking way, mate. No way. Whoever does this, they're going to turn, this is going to be, wow. It was too raw, too crazy, too like, I was wrong. But so and Julian, I was like, oh fuck, okay, this is cool. But then I also know that it doesn't matter, that whatever the director wants, I'm going to bring what I want. So I also have to check out, if I bring what I want, how are you going to be about that? We did that. Talked a bit about what I would want. And the thing is, with this story, as a woman of color, what I want is of huge importance to the film. And Julian knew that. He's not about to tell me what it feels like to be a black woman. Neither's Shaye. But my God, they want to know. My God, they want to know. And just the fact that they want to know is, I could just lie down and just sleep knowing that it's all going to be okay. You know, really, you want to know? Oh, we really, really want to know. And I guess I have experienced enough in the business, throughout the world with activism. I read anthropology at Cambridge. All I'm saying is, it took all of that to be credible enough to play this role. I needed all of the things I've done, the studying about humanity, the bigger picture, where we sit in the, you know, in the evolution of life, humanity. That's my bag. That's the kind of shit I read. You know, Jared Diamond, give it to me. I love all that shit. And and then we made the film, and then I can't tell you, of all the films to stop halfway. I mean, no fucking way, mate. It was the scene where Sandra's mother is being cremated. And I knew that we were going to get shut down because my agent had called to say, you've got to get out of there. England the borders are closing in 24 hours. I had to get home in 24 hours. Otherwise I would have been in America making God's Country for a year, which probably would have been quite good. Yeah, we could have made like God's Country 2, God's Country 3, God's Country 4. Yeah, and it was just to leave that movie and knowing that we probably never go back. It's a little movie. Like, how the fuck? It's a little movie. Like, all movies are going down. What? Everything's going down. How is it going to? And a year later, almost to the day. Almost to the day. But the scene, we were playing this. There was the scene with the mother, and she was being cremated, and the movie was dying. You know what I mean? It was like.
I mean, that happens, doesn't it? Like, the story of making the movie becomes the story in the movie as well.
Yeah.
But I'll never. But you know that it was such a. But even though it was all going off, we just every time the camera rolled, we were there. We were just all there. I've never had this kind of incredible chemistry with the team. Sebastian, the focus puller. I mean, I swear to God, I think there should be an Academy Award for focus pulling. There should be. There should be. It's like he paints with focus. Because it's not just about getting it in focus. It's when you go from one thing to another. It's when you start to fade out. It's like, is it slightly out of focus? And is that kind of good? Like, he is. Fuck. And it was like that for everybody. Flora, our production designer, the love she put into this with no money. The care, just like seeing, like I went, and there was one day, oh my God, when we came back to shoot, And we came back to shoot and they didn't have a white fridge or whatever it was. And they had to try and match it. And they'd literally put white tape across a fridge that wasn't white because we didn't have the money to do. And it looked perfect. And it was so the tenacity involved because we didn't have the money. Seeing people make it fucking happen, man. Mm-hmm. Seeing our team make it happen. It was just.
Can I throw one thing in there about this? I mean, I'm sure we have other questions, but the dynamic is set by the lead. You know, like when people come in and see that the number one on the call sheet is taking it that seriously, everyone behaves very differently. You know what I mean? The tone was set, and everyone knew how seriously you were taking this, and they followed suit. So, thank you.
Well, I want to, I think what's really interesting about this film, and maybe Shaye, you can speak to this, is where it doesn't go at times. I think when I was watching it, I was expecting, oh, this is going to be like a home invasion movie or something, and you're going to have to start cracking skulls at a certain point. These two guys are going to, just keep terrorizing her, and it goes to so many different places. We see her in the church with her, guy who's annoying him, and it has a lot of different dimensions. So I want to know, why was it important to play with those expectations or with genre and to kind of tease out these broader feelings? How did you thread that needle?
Well, I mean, it's a testament to me and Julian and I's approach to storytelling. Like the way we kind of approach it is like if the story's like an iceberg, what's on the script and what you're seeing on the screen is like the tip. Underneath it is so much more. It's so much more going on underneath the surface. Like if this is an iceberg, like it's in the water. And so for me, like when you're approaching it from that standpoint, even guys who are normally seen as villains, like I think in most movies, the hunters are going to be easily dismissed, easily reduced as just ignorant racists. And that's why it was important for her to go into their world so we could see that these gentlemen are like, they have perspectives and worldviews and moms and dads. And you know what I mean? It's very important to humanize the villain or humanize the enemy, because then you can't reduce it. You can't dismiss it.
Yeah.
So for us, that's like, and even like you could even go into their worlds. You know what I mean? They have their own stories and their own like internal, worldviews and monologues, whatever you want to call it, internal lives. So it's very important. Like I think it's like, again, it's just a testament to the way we approach storytelling. You know what I mean? So that, because like I said earlier, this is a subversive film in a lot of ways. And in order to do that, you have to really like open yourself up and go places that I think a lot of people as creatives and writers don't want to go, because they just want to, these are just characters on a page. And for me, every character in this movie is a human.
And, independent movie is where we can take risks, even though you feel like you can't because you don't have enough to be able to take risks, right? You have to be super prepared. But in a way, what it does is it makes you the best artist you can be because you have those limitations, and that's the way of Hollywood. Of course, it's the independent movies or the obscure movies, filmmakers who are working with nothing. They're the ones who then get plucked by a studio because they've managed to do everything with nothing. And then suddenly they're given everything. And then the studio wonders why they're not doing what the studio wants to do, So it's a process. And thank God, I would say, thank God for that upward mobility, because then eventually you have people who are dispossessed in the places of power, where they can finally help others who are dispossessed. It doesn't always happen that way, because very often if you haven't dealt with your trauma, you then end up becoming an arsehole as well, But I do feel like if you look at Marvel, just looking at how, I think Marvel's a really interesting one, just to sort of talk more broadly for a second, because Marvel, the star is the production, right? The star is Marvel, and you've got all these actors thinking that they're suddenly stars because they're doing Marvel movies. They're insignificant. Marvel is the star, and also they know they're insignificant because they get paid fuck all, by the way, to do initially. All those, the big stars get paid, but the little ones, But then if you see those movies get really successful and those little dispossessed actors do become successful, and then they start saying, I don't want to do this because it's too cheesy or it doesn't make sense. And then you get Taika Waititi come in. And then it all kicks off and changes. So eventually things change. But it's, if you notice though, it's about the dispossessed gaining power. Can we just do that a bit more quickly, please? Can we just do it a bit more quickly? And actually, when they do have power, just actually let them do what they want, because you pick them because of what they do.
Yep.
It's so fucked up. And it's a cycle that has been in Hollywood. I've seen it happen for 30 more. I'm 49. This is the problem, you see. When I started out, I was a little brown actress and people thought, oh, it doesn't matter. She's not going to get anywhere and she's not going to stick around and, you know, whatever. And I just sat and waited because no one was really talking to me. And I witnessed it all. And I'm here now, cracking skulls. So, no, but seriously, you know, I do think that eventually things work out, but we just have to push things along a bit because things are happening so rapidly now.
I think we're running out of time, but I did want to.
Yes, we are, my friend. We are running out of fucking time.
As an actress, though, you know, what were some of the risks that you took on this film? Because you have to convey this woman's grief, but also her resolve and her toughness in a lot of ways. So, yeah, what were some of the ways that you got into that headspace and some of the risks that you had to take?
It was just about being present, honestly, because you say that and it gives me watery bowels when you listed all the things I had to do. But thankfully, I didn't have to do them all at once. Do you know what I mean? Because then, yeah, wow. That's why people get so scared before starting a project, because they think about everything. When in fact, you're just going to be doing one bit at a time. And that's what it was. And I had all these people there. Shaye was even there. You know, you don't always have the writer present. Shaye was there. And we would talk. And I would get relaxed. I was probably more... I don't get nervous really anymore. My heart beats though, as Julian knows. My heart beats really fast. But I stay quite calm because I've decided that energy is excitement. It's not fear. You know, it feels the same. And I had, you know, every minute. And I didn't always know how a scene would be played. I didn't know. And it was very often these extraordinary supporting actors. Extraordinary people who I'd never even seen before, on screen or elsewhere. I really don't watch television much at all, or film really. And, you know, I remember when we first worked with Jeremy Bobb. What an actor. Holy shit. Beautiful scene. Beautiful work. So I just did what he was doing. He gave me, I gave him, and we just did it. I don't know. How did I prepare? I mean, there wasn't a huge amount of preparation. We talked, we understood. We all knew, we cared, we understood. We were there. It's fucking freezing. Oh, the first morning was dreadful. So cold. I hate the cold.
Where was this shot?
I wouldn't know. This is
Montana.
Sandra and I aren't the same. There's no fucking way I would move to Montana.
It was 1 degree, I believe, that day.
Yeah, it was hideous. And I was digging. I was having to get a pickaxe on top of an exposed mountain and get a pickaxe and dig her.
I was actually quite concerned that she would just, the wind would fill her coat and she'd just fly away like Mary.
She'd fall over, yeah.
But, you know, the preparation is, like, you don't have time to do rehearsals on an independent film. The preparation was the three of us talking about the movie. And what
Where did you stay, babe? Where did you stay? That little lodge? The travel lodge.
Travel lodge.
I'd like to take that travel lodge, pick it up. I'm sure you could, and just put it somewhere and go and visit it.
As
that travel lodge. Oh.
But, you know, like the conversations that we had were not really about the scenes. They were about the concepts and the ideas and the meaning and what we wanted to explore. Because frankly, I don't think any of us knew what it was actually going to be like. We just knew what territory we wanted to get into and examine, you know?
Yep.
And we found it together, I think.
And there are scenes that didn't make it, you know, but they are there. I think you both know one. That, like, there's one particular, which is you know, and I don't think it should. Don't think it should be there. But there's like the truth of we had
to work through it all.
We had to
experience
it. But it could all still be there. There was a truth that overrided even making the movie.
Well, and this is what Shaye was saying about the iceberg tips thing, is like, even though we had so many conversations and so much discussion, we worked on the script together and we shot scenes and cut them, but all of that becomes visible in a way that is not, you know, it's not conscious, but you feel, I hope, that there's like a richness of experience in the movie, even if it's just very simple on the surface. That's the goal.
I haven't seen the finished film yet. I'm seeing it tomorrow morning. So I mean, I know I've seen, you know, edits of it, maybe one or two.
You saw pretty close to the end. I mean, yeah, you definitely, you're not in the dark.
we only did ADR a few weeks ago. Even ADR was an experience.
It is quite something, because we really just finished this movie, and it's such a treat to be in this position now.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining me. Congratulations on the film, and have a good rest of Sundance.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us.